For 2 years, I've kept a 32.1-inch full-size spare tire in my cargo carrier that's on top of my roof. I thought this was a pretty ingenious way of carrying a full-size spare tire. With the cargo carrier, it's aerodynamic. The only thing, though, is I'm kind of wanting to use that space now. I would love to be able to slide my snowboard up there. So in order to do so, I'm going to need a rear hitch tire carrier. Wilco Offroad is one of the older offerings. I give respect to them for coming up with the idea. Now, don't quote me on that. I'm not sure if they're the originals, but they definitely were one of the first ones to offer this to the mass market. Rig Supply also makes a rear hitch tire carrier, and their special feature is they have a hitch receiver built into the swing out. So imagine hooking up some mountain bikes and swinging everything out of the way so that you could open up your rear hatch. So let's go ahead and tune in to just candid conversation with me and the boys, just talking about the pros and cons of Wilco and Rigged Supply. And then towards the later part of this video, I'm going to visit Dirt Complex and check out their rear tire carrier. Does it do better? Stay tuned to find out.
Now, one thing right off the bat, this is going to catch. That's totally going to catch.
Oh, and by the way, sorry about the wind noise, and I hope this candid footage isn't too boring.
Look at the Wilco.
I just felt that it would give you a better sense of the tire carriers and also how we compare these things.
Yeah, so if you look at the Wilco version, it has a good angle to it, and it also does not seem to go out nearly as far, right? So Wilco just has this pin right there. You help me out, Alan.
Look at it like.
Keep moving. Did you get it? Oh, you got it. Takes a little bit of. Okay. Alan, this is exactly why I want this one. Okay, try that latch.
What?
That's why I want the rig, because that latch is awesome. Those bastards. So they have a new latch that's supposed to be even better. Okay, so stand right next to it. Let's see how high it goes up. Okay. All right, let's go over here. Whoa, that's a difference.
Yeah, it's a big difference. So it wasn't all of them. The whole window is visible back here.
Yeah, that's right. The whole window is pretty much visible.
So if you're into
Yeah, this is the one I want to get.
a lot higher.
So I think this trip is the is going to be the deciding factor whether or not I keep the KO2s.
Oh yeah, why is that?
Just overall, really under impressed with them.
I mean, that was pretty deep. Like,
it wasn't that deep.
Right, but I even felt like I was bogging down a little bit.
Yeah, I think
Not bogging down, but it was a struggle.
Well, like coming around that U-turn,
Right over here.
all of a sudden it's like, you're like, whoa, like, let me give it some more.
Yeah, but I never had that problem with my Kumos.
Your cum hose.
That's it.
Cum ho Area 51s.
Hey, they survived the raid.
You should buy those tires just for the brand name. I got some cum hose.
Dude, they're a third the price of those, and they handle better in the sand. What did we do most of?
Why am I struggling so much? 157.
one thing you'll notice about the Wilco tire carrier is it wobbles. The reason Rigid Supply doesn't wobble is because it has high density plastic parts that reduce vibration and in turn also reduces wobbling.
Is this where the mine's supposed to be?
To recap on the Rigid Supply tire carrier, I think it's a near perfect unit, except I don't think it's really made with hardcore off-roading in mind. And on their website, there's a video, does it wobble? So it looks like it wobbles a little bit. But man, look at this. Pile drive. Bam! Bam! Look, see the sand falling out of the hitch right there. And bam! I don't know, maybe you want the tire carrier there to hit things so it protects your bumper. But it does hang super low. Wilco gets that part right because it actually curves upwards. So now it's time to check out this tire carrier made by Dirt Complex. Returning is our special guest correspondent, Johnny Rawl.
Hello, Johnny Rawl here, and one of the most magnificent things about this hitch is that it curves upwards, allowing for better departure angles.
This is Dirtcom's Trail Swing. It'll hold up to a 35-inch tire. It's made out of 1.5-inch 120 wall chromoly tubing, so it's really stout, really strong.
Chromoly.
Yes.
Is that the metal they use in Captain America's shield?
But it's close. This is close. Yeah.
Okay.
This is close. 3/16 plate for the steel to keep it strong. Stitch welded for strength. And you have this accessory bracket here, so you can add a rotor patch to the side. If it's far enough away from your hatch, you can have another one here as well. For this one, it fits pretty perfectly. You can't, there's no space really here. But keep in mind, this is on the middle setting, so you can actually bring it out 1 inch if you're worried about doing anything to your bumper. If you're an off-roader, you probably wouldn't care. If you care, push it out 1 inch and it'll still fit. So what I like the most about this is we try to make it really easy and convenient to use. So if you were to first open this, and you know what, let's start from the beginning here. So one thing, I wanted to be able to do it so you can do it one-handed. So you can reach down and pull this pin out and it'll hang right there. You don't have to place it anywhere else or lose it. And then you can pop this open, and with one hand, this will automatically lock into place. Like that.
Can you get that again? Can I get that to lock again? Okay, bring it in a little bit more.
Ready?
Yep.
So that was one of the one of the things we're considering when we're using it, the user. What are they doing? They're opening it. They might just be getting groceries. You know, having an extra swing out kind of is cumbersome sometimes. For those of you that have never had one, you're probably like, it's just one thing, but some of the other swing outs, you have to do all these extra steps just to get it open. This one, I wanted to make sure you could do it one-handed. So I don't know, what do you think about that?
I think that's as great as a kangaroo in its pouch.
So some of the other features in here, we have rubber stoppers in these locations. We have this rubber pad on the bottom. That's to prevent metal on metal contact. And eventually in the future, when these rubber pads do wear out, you can just simply replace them. So we were gonna sell those in a pack of 3, so you don't have to worry about that in the future. And that also absorbs impact and helps, oh, you lost it. The hitch receiver, the new one, is angled upward. That really helps with your departure angle. The tow hitch is already getting some people's way when they're off-roading and it's rubbing on the ground, so we felt that angling this up would be a lot better for off-roading. As you can see, this was really designed for high clearance in mind. That's why we kept the arm as short as possible to still clear the hatch, and as high as possible. You'll see other other hitch-mounted tire carriers on the market hang down really low below the bumper. But if you've seen this on a Gladiator, on the Subarus, on the 4Runners, it sits above the bumper. It looks really good, so it's not dragging all over the floor.
Great. My golly, Jorbs, this is a gigantic nut. What is this? It's like from another world. Oh my God.
That's a 1-inch nut and bolt, 1-inch diameter. So that's really solid. That's not going to break. It's not going anywhere. It was important functionally and visually. When something looks strong, it is strong.
I just don't like shiny things. I would want to paint it black.
Well, you could paint it black, but
It's just preference.
you could paint it black, but it matches the chrome on your wheel.
Oh my God. And I never got around to spray painting it. Unfortunately, these fake beadlocks just taint my family's name. Jorbs, there's a light.
Yeah, so depending on what state you're in, the highway patrol can get really picky about not having a license plate light. You could get away with it for a while, but every once in a while or eventually you'll get caught if you don't have one. So we wanted to make sure that ours came with that. Also, as you can see, he was shaking this, and yeah, the tire isn't even mounted tight all the way either. So, this encapsulates the entire license plate, so it protects it. You know, wind, these license plates are real thin, so even wind can bend them. You reach around, you can bend the plate. I wanted to make sure that the plate was protected and part of the design, because you can't get around having a license plate. You have to have one. Why ignore the fact that it's there? Design around it, and it'll look good.
Thank you very much, Johnny Rawl. Now it's time to borrow this tire carrier and give it a proper shakedown. But first, let's paint that chrome black. Ah, much better.
So it is auto locking, which is really nice. Got a release lever right here. So I could go ahead and close it, or what I could do is go to the next level. So there's a total of 3 different levels. Go over here. Let me see, does it go back further? Yes, it does, but it stops right there. And that is stopped by just the actual hinge. We could do a free open, which I think is go this way, and then it'll freely swing.
And now to test to see if it wobbles. So that's all the time we have for this video. If you'd like more information about any of these 3 tire carriers, go ahead and visit the websites Wilco Rigged Supply or Dirt Complex. I hope this video didn't come off as a commercial for Dirt Complex, but it does make a lot of sense that a newer product would be an improvement over the other 2. But not only is it an improvement, there are unique features that make this tire carrier stand out. And because these tire carriers are all expensive, this has to be a really careful decision. You just have to choose which one fits you best. And in my case, I could really use the departure angle. So there we have it. After 2 years, I'm finally getting myself a tire carrier. And by the way, I borrowed this, so I returned it. And I don't have a tire carrier right now. I actually put my tire back up in the cargo carrier. But hopefully in about a month or so, I will have one of these connected to my rear hitch. Not only do these units carry a tire, but they could carry roto packs, gas cans, a cooking table. They're very versatile. They will add to my overlanding experience. And I'll surely get poser landing points. All right, everybody. That's it for this episode. Take care and have fun on your adventures.